way I can come up with criteria for design and non-design is only because comes from my experiences with human intelligence. If we're asking questions about alien intelligence or God intelligence, right, I have no priors as to make a distinction.
So, intelligent design proponents don't argue that inferring design proves that God exists, merely that intelligence played an essential part in bringing about the object in question. As to justifications for a design inference, it's not true that we need prior knowledge of the designer or of the kinds of objects such designers produce. Danny needs to argue that priors are necessary rather than just sufficient. We can infer design for many reasons, and even though our past experience often does play an important role, we can do without it. There are many plausible cases we can think of where we would be rational to conclude design without the background knowledge Danny talks about. For example, if SETI researchers were to receive a long sequence of prime numbers via radio signals in space, they would likely infer design. Likewise, if we dropped a Steinway grand piano onto a remote island, the inhabitants of which have no knowledge of other humans existing and no experience of those kinds of objects, they would likely infer design also. Our past experience is sometimes sufficient for design inferences, but it's not necessary. The way we can reliably infer design is by the combination of sufficient complexity and a specification, which can be thought of as an independently given pattern. To find out more about how we can scientifically infer design, check out the work of William Dembski and Winston Hewitt in the Design Inference, which was published last year. And in this book, they clearly quantify a criteria for design.